Okay, so I ran into my first hurdle with this project. This bolt doesn't go all the way through. There's this type of wheel that takes 3 prongs, or the newer versions take 6 prongs, and they go right into the flange on this wheel. Then you get the more familiar ones that they just have an insert. They don't have bearings, they just have an insert into the hub. Those flanges aren't as large like these. Either way, you can make both the wheels work. This wheel is going to be a little stubborn though. 1/4 inch bolt. However, the holes are offset. When they manufactured this wheel, they only drilled on one side, flipped over, drilled on the other. They didn't drill straight through. So now this style of wheel, you're going to have to bolt a sprocket straight up to the flange on this type of wheel, because a rag joint's not going to work. The flange is a little too large, so you can't line the 9 holes up to your spokes. So that's not good. These points here won't clear the flange. It'll clear the spokes, but it won't clear the flange because this flange is a little too large. So if you have the normal style of wheel, you just use any of those two and it'll work just fine. This sprocket belongs off of a Coleman 100 something. It's off of a mini bike. It's a 75 tooth 35 chain sprocket. The holes line up not perfectly. I'd have to oversize these holes just by a little bit. They're off by like 1 millimeter. So I'll oversize the hole a little bit, and then I'll drill 3 new holes, so that way I have all 6 bolts. Unfortunately, I got stuck with the wonky wheel. But if you have a newer trike, chances are you have the insert one. Those are much more common than the prong style. Okay, real quick, I got my kill switch wired up. The kill switch wire was a little too short. I don't know how long it was. I'm assuming maybe a little over 2 feet. It only came out to like right about here. So I went and I clipped the ends off, and I crimped on some new ends, these ends here, and I extended the wire. Black is hot, green is ground, and I put in this protective sheathing with also my my throttle cable. So now it's all in one area and it follows the contour of the bike. I also mounted this basket here. This basket I stole off of my wife's bike, so don't tell her that I did that. But anyways, I just drilled 2 holes here, and I used the existing holes on this rail. You can't see it because this mounts in the way, but I used the existing holes so I can mount the basket. So I have a basket of some kind. Anyways, I wanted to do this all in one video just to show how simple this was. Literally all it was just an engine mount. I welded it to the frame. You don't have to, you could just use the bolt holes. This is an older trike, so the bolt holes are not in the same area where a modern trike would be. I also use that adapter plate so that way I can tension up the chain here when I slide the engine back, but also to get proper alignment too, I can slide the engine this way. That way I can get alignment with the sprocket, at least get that much more precise alignment. I also got this jack shaft plate here, so that way I don't have to weld up or make a complicated jack shaft. I could just have it bolted right onto the engine itself. And in my opinion, this is the best way to do a jack shaft, to just have it bolted to your engine. It can slide. These are slots, so it can slide, and I can also tension this chain up here as well. And since the sprocket is behind the driven sprocket, and I could just move this and it'll tension both chains. It's probably what I should do. It is fairly close here with this bolt, and I had to cut this end. Off, so that way this can fit. Otherwise, it'd be hitting the spokes. You don't have to have a jack shaft. You could just run it straight, but in my opinion, you don't build a trike for speed. They're not good at speed. They're not designed for speed. You build them for torque, to carry a load. Since you got a basket, or if you got like a trailer of some kind, super convenient. Because it has a jack shaft, the ratio, I believe it's 13 something to 1. This is an 11 tooth to a 20 tooth, 10 tooth to a 75 tooth. And it worked out to like 13 something, which is perfect for this 24-inch wheel. If it was a 20-inch wheel, something like this, I'd probably do maybe 8 to 1. Or I probably wouldn't even bother with the jack shaft. You just run it straight and be able to accelerate under its own power. That was the goal. That's why I put such a high ratio on it, so that way I don't have to pedal assist this to get up to speed. Unlike a motorized bike, where they don't have jack shafts, they're just directly mounted, you need a pedal assist them. And I didn't want to have to do it with this because a trike is already really convenient. It's not fast, but I'm not going for speed, because speed on these things is terrifying. You don't want to go fast on this. Yeah, from wheel to wheel, it's roughly a little less than 26 inches. That's crazy. So it's very narrow. You don't want a corner on something very narrow like that and then have all the weight up here. If this engine was down here and you sat here, then you're perfectly fine. But you're not, because you sit up there. Yeah, I know my brakes really suck. These are brand new pads, but I still get a squeal. These pads are angled. They're angled in, they have a slight taper, so the back end strikes the tire first. They shouldn't make a squeal, but they squeal like crazy when I use my brakes. And besides, that's the only brakes I have. I don't have rear brakes. I should get rear brakes. I don't know the top speed on this. I haven't done the, I haven't checked with my app. I'm just gonna assume it probably does like 20 miles an hour. It doesn't go real fast. But like I said, it can accelerate and it can get up to speed pretty quick. As soon as the governor kicks in, this thing just tops out. But anyways, I just wanted to show how simple it is to motorize these things. To mount the engine up to the wheel, like I said, you don't need the jack shaft, but I just did it personally. If you didn't do it, then you're gonna have to pedal assist it because you won't have that aggressive ratio. And then this thing will go crazy fast. Trust me, I built a couple of these before. Even the reverse trikes are sketchy going fast. If you want speed, a recumbent trike is what you want, not a conventional trike. But this is the best way to mount the engine. Mount it directly up to your wheel. Do not bother on mounting it to your axle down there, because that's a 15 millimeter axle. First of all, it's really hard to try to find a 15 millimeter hub to fit that axle here in America. But those 15 millimeter axles are really tiny, smaller than 5/8. And what happens is your engine will end up twisting them, either pulling them or twisting them. And when that happens, it's pretty much destroyed. Your back end is useless. Good luck getting that axle off, because you're not going to be able to slide that twisted axle through. When mounting it up using a rag joint, now I couldn't use a rag joint for obvious reasons, but if you do have that problem, you can just do what I did and just mount it directly up to your to the flanges on the hub, which is probably the most ideal way to do it. But rag joint and sprocket hub adapter, that's all you need. The engine, sprocket, that mount, and then your throttle. And that's all you need. It's super simple. Anyways, I do have plans for this thing. I'm not going to keep it a traditional trike. I do plan on converting this to a quadricycle. I'm going to add 2 wheels to the front, and I'm going to use the front end that I did with the reverse trikes. Only I want to mount the wheels up a little bit better. So having this front brake doesn't even matter, because I'm going to have 2 wheels up here anyways. But anyways, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.